All right, going to continue the series on fly fishing Southeast Asia's flies. We're going to work on the Royal Wolf today, and the one we use out at Kampung, Betong. It's modified just a bit from the regular. I've got two examples going to be tying for you today, so we'll get going. First, we're going to use a dry fly. A lot of times guys want to tie these super small. Today we're going to be using size 16 from Wapsi. King size hook works really well, and I think you can also do. Personally, I like a size 14. You can make a 14 size fly, catch fish all day. They do get spooky, Sikang, so once they get spooky, you do got to kind of reduce the size a little bit, or change the fly, or change the location. One of the three. Change the fly, change the location, or reduce the size. So here we go. Let's go ahead and begin this. So we'll start both flies. I'm tying one in a different color, and we'll use a little bit of golden pheasant tippet. Pull those off. And take some fibers. Measure the length of the shank and then tie that into the tie-in point of the hook bit. Okay, let's talk about the tail for a second. Although we use the golden pheasant tail, which is kind of traditional, used often, I use it often. You can also use deer body or body hair. This is a deer body. You can grab a cluster of the tail with the deer body as well. You saw it. So next we're going to talk about the wings. So wings can be made with a variety of different material. Some use poly yarn. Some use, this is mallard flank. Some use calf tail, and then there's a variety of other materials that can be used for wing. And some people don't even use wing. You can make if you're in a pinch, you don't have any wings, you can make the Royal Wolf or a mayfly without a wing, and sometimes it's just as effective. But for the application at Kampung Betong, we want to use actually a little bit of extended wing. We kind of made the wings a little bit larger, kind of more exaggerated. Gives the feel and look of a fly, called the werewolf, they call it sometimes. So the Royal Wolf, but an extended wing. So we're going to grab some kip tail. And I'm actually tying that in body length, or a hook shank and a half length. Hook shank and a half length. I know that's extremely large for a wing, but there is a reason for that application there at Kampung Betong. And then we use the end of it to taper down the body. So we make a tapered body with the cutoff there. Next thing we do is we want to raise the wings and then build a thread dam in front of the wing material so that it stands upright. Okay. And then we want to split that upright wing into two pieces, two parts, and create two wings opposite each other, making a wrap, and then a cross wrap, and then a wrap, then another cross wrap, and a wrap. And that creates a nice, even, two-sided wing shape. And that wing shape you actually want to kind of be slightly forward. So if you notice, it goes to the front side just a bit on there. Okay. Now for the other example, I'm actually going to tie in a mallard flank and make a wally wing on the Royal Wolf. It makes a beautiful little design, works really well. And my wally wings, I actually bought this from a place there in KL, Tackle Box Adventures. Many of you know Nick Oy, and long time he's had his shop up, and so I'll be using the wally wings today on the second example. So you want to make the wing even. You want to divide it to where it's even and it has this type of shape, and everything else can come back. Okay? You place it on top of the hook shank. Make sure you have a little bit of a thread base so that there's something to grab onto. About a 1/3 way point from the hook shank, you want to create a small trapped portion. Okay, 1 or 2 wraps will kind of lock it in. Then you can adjust the angle, and then make sure on this particular wally wing that your sides kind of come out just a bit. Create that good wing shape when you open it up. And then you make a few wraps to the back side to kind of trap those fibers in well. And then you do the same thing with the mallard flank as you did with the kip tail to create a tapered body. You want to taper the body backwards onto the hook shape. Now come back up and continue to create your tapered body, but also lift the wing and then come in front of it and also create your thread dam with some wraps. Okay. Now this is the part go, no go for your wallow wing. At this point, you've spent a lot of time on the fly, but you're about to make a wallow wing, and then all of a sudden, it doesn't come out like it's supposed to. So hopefully it comes out. I'll let you see it right. Okay. So you want to take the parts most in the middle, the most extreme middle part you can, and then when you find that most extreme middle part, you try to divide even between those further to get the most middle you can. And then you got your middle, and then you begin to pull the middle slowly apart. If you can't get the middle pulling apart, you're going to have to start all over on your wally wing. In this case we did get it. And it creates a nice, even wing for your fly. Okay, so then you can cut off these extra sides. Some guys leave them on. It'd be fun to leave them on, I think. But just for the sake of our fly, we'll create that wally wing with that. So now you have 2 different wings. All right, we've created our wings. Now it's time to get to our body, for the body of our fly. So we'll start working on the body of the fly. And I'm going to try to let you guys see the fly a little bit better at this point by getting closer in. You don't need to see my face, my ugly mug. And so what we're going to use is peacock curl. So we grab us a strand of peacock curl for each side. Now a lot of guys, when they're trying this Whirl Wolf, will tie with black thread or darker thread, and then come back later and use the red thread. I'm going to show you today that you don't actually need to do that. You can actually tie the whole thing with red, and it works just as well. And you make it happen during the processing of the fly. So I got my second herl here, I'm tied in. So once we tied it in, we bring it forward just a bit and we take a few wraps, right? 1, 2, 3 at the most. What we're doing is we're creating a butt, or a hot butt, the end of the thing, just a butt end, and then you take the red wraps and you actually create your zone, that your space, your zone, or your little part of solid thread on the hook shank, and then come back in front of the fly and go to where you're going to end the fly, and then you continue to make your lead wraps. 1, 2, sorry, not lead wraps, wraps with a herl. Now, after about 3 or 4, I like to take at least 1 wrap around with the thread in order to lock that in. In case you lose a little bit of the herl on the fishing, you can always come back to where you wrapped it with thread, and there's still a little bit of body left on it. Okay, so we'll do a few more here. Just build that front end just a little bit, and then as you can see, I've stopped with just enough room to tie in a few hackles. Trim off the excess, and then the same thing for the other one. Okay, so now it's time to build the neck of the royal wolf. Okay, and so we're gonna, tie-in point is always gonna be right behind the back side of the wing material right here. But you have to select the size. So if you're using a size 16 hook, you want to use select a size 16 hackle. You can go a little bit different, and you can always trim off a little bit, but you know, just around about. So I've already gauged out on what my hackles, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a lighter color and a second hackle of a darker color. So on this one, I'm going to use red on top of this, which is my personal favorite to use at Kampung Betong. The second one, I'm actually going to use the white light hackle with a Cree on top. The Cree is nice and multicolored already, and a great fly to use, or a great color to use out there at Kampung Betong, because it's already got that ginger in there, that kind of red flavor. So let's go ahead and tie in our hackles. On the hackles, you want to select the portion of the hackle that begins to be the right size. You're going to cut off here. And as you can see, a lot of guys, this is something you can learn all over the internet. It's got, you pull out a little bit of this shank, then you cut off both the top and the bottom, close to the hook shank. And then on the side you're going to wrap, which is going to be the upper side of the side you're going to wrap, you actually pull off a few fibers. And that allows the hackle to lay down. If you're having a hard time with it laying down as well, you can always grab some forceps and actually pinch down or break you can always crack the stem of the hackle. So we'll tie that in there. 1, 2, and then I'm going to bring it around the front side and tie it down to the hook shank. Okay, bring it back around. Getting really bulky on the back side. I don't like that, but here's what it is. Too many wraps. And then on the second one, I'm going to use the and with this one being too large of a hackle for the size, I'm actually going to trim it down. So I'll show you how to do that. You just take it down to the side and then cut it right up. All right, you also want to invest yourself in a nice pair of hackle pliers so you can spin the hackles. I could take the light colored one first, so that way I can make the darkness of the neck or the thorax as best as I can to the color I want to match of the area. So I take about 3 wraps behind, nice tight wraps, and then I'll do 3, sometimes 4 wraps in front. 1, 2, 3. Looks like I'll do just 3. And then we pull, leaving yourself enough room on the hook eye. 2 wraps to lock it in, and then we cut it up on the top side if you can. On this particular fly, I trapped a lot of fibers in front. We want to try to avoid trapping the fibers on the front wrap. And we can get this back together. It'll take its shape a little better. And then we have also a flayed hackle on the back. I'll just trim those fibers out, make it look better. All right, there it is. That's the first one. See? Let's finish the second one. And the second one, the Cree. Okay. And there you have it. One's a bit cleaner than the other one. But as you notice, this one has a hot butt that's green, and the other one has a hot butt that's, cannot get this thing to focus. Anyways, the other one has a hot butt that's red. I think either one will work out there. I've tried it with this one before. It gets relatively the same amount. I mean, it could be a difference between the red and the other color, but but try a few different things and see what happens. Obviously, this is for Sikang in Palabra. I mean, in Little Kampung area. They've worked other places as well. Some of my favorites. So stay tuned. We'll get you another video going here pretty soon. Thanks for watching.